Hi guys, so first of all, just before I get into the actual part of this video, I want to say I'm sorry, but I cannot find my camera and it's really frustrating me at the moment because it can only be in one of two places and I keep looking and I cannot see it. So I need to have a bit of a proper go through in a moment after this. Hopefully, sod's law that I find it after filming this video, but I kind of hope that's the case as well because otherwise where the heck is it? Do you know what I mean? Anyway. This is my makeup booklet inspired by, where is it? This book, which is the ARC cover, but I don't think the UK edition is much too different from this. And this is The Girl in the Tower, book 2 of The Bear and the Nightingale by Katherine Arden. So in this little part, I'm going to be doing my makeup inspired just by things that inspires me about this story. It could be, probably most likely, take a lot of inspiration from the cover and then how I think Vajja, our main character, would wear makeup if she did. Like, in my thoughts, I'm thinking like dark, smoky, mysterious, I don't know. So yeah, with a touch of magic, some shimmer maybe, I don't know, I wing it as usual, and I will discuss my review and possibly discussions of the book, of my makeup as I go along in a little box in the corner. Hopefully that's fun. Again, I do apologise that I cannot find my camera. So yes, let's begin. So, seeing as I had that issue with my camera disappearing, well, I thought I'd film the other part of this video that's overlaying on this in a rectangular way. Interesting, I know. So, I ended up giving this a 4 out of 5 stars. We are thrown back in to the world of Vajja's Russia. Very whimsical, very magical, dark Russian, sort of historical fiction fantasy, I guess you could say. It was awesome. So obviously, if you want to know my thoughts on the first book, or you haven't read it, probably go and watch and do that first before you come into this, because it's going to spoil stuff for the first book, I'm sure. I'm really thankful actually that I actually won this art copy from a giveaway on Goodreads, and I also got a NetGalley ebook copy, e-arc, which I didn't end up reading because I had the physical one. So thank you to those. As usual, my opinions are all my own. So I was really excited to get back into this world, but I will tell you, it's one of those daunting things where I enjoyed the first book so much that I was kind of nervous that this one was going to sort of fall flat or diminish in quality, just because in my head, unintended, I had sort of spiked it up and hyped it up so much that it had a high stake, and I was worried that it was going to fall off of its little pedestal for me, but it didn't. Glad about that. I also was worrying that, because I remember from the first book it was a slower read and at times a little bit difficult to get through. I was worried I was going to find that in this too. But funnily enough, I actually found this to be easier to read. I don't know if it's because I was somewhat familiar with the writing style of Katherine Arden, or if it was just generally an easier to read sequel. But that was really helpful as well, and I felt like I was whizzing through it. So excited to see how Vajja sort of survived on her own. Obviously a lot had happened in the last book that kind of thrust her into the big wide world, and I just wanted to know if she was capable of looking after herself. We see a lot more from Morozko? I don't know how to say his name, sorry, the Frost Demon, and it was really interesting to see sort of their character growth both together, and then obviously Vajja on her own as well, because she goes through a lot of adventures and a lot of plot developing in her own way, which was really interesting. We also get to see some of her other siblings as well, which was cool, especially in a different setting where they'd grown apart and they live kind of very different lives now. So seeing them interact as well, particularly with the sort of tricky plot that they were all involved in, really added to the excitement of the story, I guess you could say. I'm happy to say that I ended up using a lot of the glossary throughout. I'd flick back and forth. I think in the first book I didn't really use it, I just kind of like read over it at the end, and I just thought, well, I wish I would have known that before. I just thought if I did do that, like go back and forth, it would alter my reading experience. But I'm happy to find that it didn't. It actually added to the, I guess, enrichment of it really, because I was learning things as I was going, and it wasn't really affecting negatively my reading pace going back and forth like that. It was just really beneficial, and I'd urge you guys to do the same as well. Again, we've got a really rich medieval scene of Russia. The way that Arden kind of paints the picture is really beautiful. The winters sound really intense and scary, and the way she describes characters trying to get through it, specifically out in the wilderness, is just phenomenal. Really beautiful sort of storytelling, and you can kind of get inside the head of the characters that she has created. You learn to love them. Obviously I got quite a good connection with quite a few of them in the prior book, but I feel like if you wasn't convinced in the connection back then, this one will probably do it for you, specifically with Vajja, because you do see a lot more of her kind of grown into this strong, hardy young woman. And yeah, definitely a different kind of character for the stereotypical female of that sort of time period, and I feel like it's done really well. So yeah, to avoid further rambling, that is my thoughts on the book itself. So as you can see from the makeup look that I'm doing, I kind of went for blues, blacks, purples. I really want to do some sort of winged out smoky sort of effect, and I ended up throwing in some speckles of yellow to sort of tie it in with sort of the stars, and I think I put a little bit of like a bronze colour over the black to signify some of the buildings here. But yeah, I probably could have done with some more green and white or something, but I just thought it would get a bit too crazy because I was winging it, as you all know, so I didn't want to go too crazy. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the review and enjoy the rest of the video.